Hello again, this is Alex with MasterChartsTrading.com, and this is market recap for Friday, January 8th, 2020. As always, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with others. Stocks reacted positively to the resolution of United States elections finally, despite the fact that we had a pretty nasty trouble in the Washington just a few days ago, but it seems to be resolving, and the stock market seems to like the resolution, so we're going to go with what the market is saying. Additionally, very important developments is the 30-year Treasury bond yield broke resistance and entered the bull market. By extension, the long-dated Treasury bonds have entered the bear market. This would imply the interest rates are now going to tend to go up. So this could be important for example, real estate. Give you a couple of recent trade examples, a couple of just out of the park trades. Capstone Turbine, I forgot to mention it a few weeks ago, but it's up even more now. 230% gain. Venator Materials up 49%, so stay tuned for that. Very easy, straightforward trading. Dollar bounced from deeply oversold levels, and the precious metals really took it on the chin, I guess, and collapsed today. So this really bothers me, and I will explain why, even though I like gold in general. And Bitcoin, over $40,000 each. Subscribers are up 375%. I'll show you what that number even means. Okay, so S&P 500. Here's January 6th, where I'm hovering. Basically, nothing happened as far as the stock market is concerned. No major events occurred here, and then we saw new record high. So right now, what I'm seeing is a continuation of a trend that started, in this case, in April. I'm not sure, some people like to interpret this in some sort of a political way. It's very difficult for me to do that because I just, I only look at this chart. And when I'm looking at the chart, there is there's nothing here. There is no political speeches, there is no conspiracies, there is no whoever said something. There's nothing here, you see. So some people kind of like to attribute things, especially the stock market. They like to attribute it to especially political events, but I just don't see it. You see, we're looking at the trend that started back in April or May of 2020, and it just continues. And we back in April, we just went ahead and started buying here. So current events, the last 2 days when we went to new records, following the for lack of a better term, can call a concession speech from President Trump, we see a little bit of an up movement. But can we attribute the stock market movement to the speech? No, I don't do that. In fact, I don't attribute the stock market to anything at all. So I just look at it as numbers on the screen or something that is in isolation. Sometimes economy and stock market, they kind of go together, and sometimes they're doing their own thing. So I wouldn't try to attribute, political events or economic events even to the numbers on the screen. You see, there are correlations and there are causations. In this case, there may be a correlation, but there is no definite causation. Dow Jones, 31,000 Dow Jones. We traded as well, so several alerts back here in May. you know, the same general principle. We just started buying it using. By the way, I forgot to mention this. This my indicators on this chart. So we got the green, blue, red, and yellow lines. These are my support and resistance lines. You can find out more about them at MasterChartsTrading.com. I basically use them exclusively, and they just look. You know, for me, it's kind of like obvious. I keep trying to convince people to use my indicators. Some people just go ahead and start using them, and they later on tell me, you know, Alex, I don't know what I was doing all my life, but your trading is just so easy, and we make lots of money. And we make lots of money, you know, not just in the last few weeks, because the market has been crazy bullish. We've been trading, I mean, I had my blog since 2016 or even earlier, so I don't think I had a year since I started the blog where I made, you know, I had a losing year, and last year was just crazy. I mean, we had, I'm gonna show you in a few trades, but we had enormous wins throughout the year, really, but especially lately. So yes, absolutely, the stock market is in a strong bullish trend, strong uptrend. Some people say that maybe there is even a element of speculation out there. Maybe, but I'll show you at the end Bitcoin, and you will understand what speculation means. This is not even that of a steep rise in stock prices. I'll show you what I mean by steep rise. Here's Nasdaq Qqq. This one just was on the roll. Went up to already 50%. So here back in April, again, we started buying, and it's up 50% since then. Our stop would have been at the blue line. I trailed the blue line itself. So you can see that it was never hit. So basically just keep trailing. You know, if you're sitting in the position and you're doing nothing, once again, you're sitting in the position, you're doing nothing. So it's important to be able to do nothing. People, traders, I myself have a huge problem with doing nothing. I want to do stuff, but it seems that overwhelming evidence is pointing to the fact that the longer you sit in the position, the better the results. So you're sitting in the position, in this case, close to a year now, since last April, like 9 months, and you're doing nothing. You may be just moving your stop a little bit, and where you stop, you move your stop at the blue line. And yeah, it's one of the hardest things to do nothing. And in stock market, it just really pays to do nothing. Here's small caps. You know, again, opportunities to buy where the up arrows are marked. Here's 27th of May, 15th of June, 22nd of June, 30th of June. Our stop is at the yellow line initially, and then once it gets to the target, we'll advance our stop to entry. So these previous alerts from the June would have been successful when we, you know, hit our target around the 7th of August here. But then this latest one was 24th of September trade, and this time, I mean, I don't normally see this. This is one of those really rare opportunities to just get in at the incredibly bullish market. So yeah, here's 24th of September alert, good for 45%, you know, and yeah, you can take profits, but once again, you can see that it pays to sit tight. You know, there's a really good saying, Wall Street saying from the from the book called Confessions of a Stock Speculator, if I'm not mistaken, by Jesse Livermore, and the quote goes, you know, men who are able to be right and sit tight are rare. And I think I already quoted this, but yeah, this is one of those things. So yeah, I'm right. I'm really quite often right. So direction is correct, and you know, we need to guess, at least guess the direction. But then, can you sit tight? Yeah. So can you sit in the position and do nothing for long periods of time? That's a challenge. Okay, so TLT. Now we're looking at TLT Treasury Bond ETF, 20 plus years, so long dated treasuries. And on this chart, what I'm saying is we see a breakdown. So look what I'm covering here on the 6th of January of this year. So during the siege of the Congress, during what is now being called an insurrection, we see a breakdown of the yield. So of all the charts that I monitor, treasuries reacted, and long dated treasuries reacted in the most spectacular manner. And this is, I think, a momentous occasion as well. So we need to really pay attention to this. So treasury bond prices have dropped. So by extension, treasury bond yield, this is TYX, has broken out. Notice where I'm hovering on the 6th of January. This is what I'm talking about. This is the breakout of the yield. Now, up till now, it's been basically going down for many years, if not decades. And what this means is that we're seeing now a turnaround in the yield. And if I'm correct, and I have a pretty good feeling that I'm going to be correct, we're going to see higher rates. So maybe we'll bounce around here, but overall the direction is now up for the yield. In other words, people who are trying to get a mortgage, etc., or some kind of a loan, they'll have a harder time paying it back. But this could weigh on certain industries, for example, real estate. Now, how much it will weigh on those industries, we don't yet know, because we're also we have already entered, after the virus has hit, we have entered this kind of new era in the economy where it seems that we'll have continuous stimulus for quite significant amount of time in the future. So when we're talking about trillions of dollars in stimulus, it needs to go somewhere. So it's clearly not going into bonds. You can see that people are selling bonds. In fact, I had a position. I bought TLT here on 10th of September at about 163 or 164, and I was just sitting in the position. It was doing nothing. Then here on the 6th of January, I'm like, this is it, this is the end. So I exited. Yeah, I had a small loss, but I have a feeling that if I'm correct, treasuries will continue lower. So this is one of those psychology of trading kind of thing, where you need to be honest with yourself. If you bought here on September 10th, where's your stop? But more importantly, are you going to honor it? I said my stop will be here, and I'm like, okay, I'm exiting. In other words, I'm cutting my losses. But if you cut your losses quickly, the losses will be small. In this business, if you don't cut your losses, they increase crazy. So basically cut your losses quickly. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but still, because your wins, the number of dollars you win outweighs the number of dollars you lose, you still make money. In my case, that number is around 3. In other words, I make $3, I win $3 for each dollar I lose. So this trade would be one of those losing trades. And there is really nothing you can do to avoid losing trades. If somebody tells you that they can have no losing trades, I would definitely run away from those traders, because they're definitely lying. Now you can have very, very high success rate, for example, in the 90s, but if you have a high success rate, then most likely you're not making a lot of money, because you're cutting your losses, but you're also cutting your wins quickly. So the trick is to kind of find this balance where your wins outweigh your losses, number of dollars you win outweighs the number of dollars you lose, and also it works with you psychologically, because you will have a certain percentage of losses, and it needs to be okay, because if you have many losses, you get very discouraged. So you need to be able to not have too many losses to adjust. In other words, you need to adjust your system until you're comfortable with it psychologically, and also you know exactly what you're doing, and also you control your risk. So 3 things: control your risk, know the system, and psychologically actually follow through with the system. Okay, so this is one of those examples from my new stock speculator newsletter. So in the stock speculator newsletter, we look for stocks that are, well, number one, they definitely need to be beat down. So this is Capstone Turbine, CPST. So I really don't know anything about them, and the way I evaluate, I'm just going to go through the way I evaluate the stock when I'm thinking about buying it for the stock speculator newsletter. So this is a breakout type of stock. In other words, the stock has been getting hit really badly, and this is like 52-week lows. Sometimes they're multi-year lows, so we can look back and see where this is. And this looked like multi-year low. So last time it was in an uptrend, you can see it was back in 2018. And since then, it was just basically doing, nothing but going down. You can see a nice opportunity to sell it at the red line short. Just keep going down. So you can buy puts if you know what you're doing. Eventually, something happens, and there's the breakout on 10th of August. So it came up on our scanner, and by the way, you can have the same scanner if you sign up. So it came up on our scanner. I started watching it. I'm like, okay, this looks very interesting. Why? So for multiple reasons. Number one, it's really beat down for a long time. And number two, the trading range, the distance between the lines here, you can see there, it's quite low. It's not, it's not very small, but it is somewhat small compared to what it was before, for example, you see. So this is what I was looking for. I was looking for tight trading range and the beat down stock. So stock was really badly beat down, and then all of a sudden it broke out. I don't know why. Something happened. Maybe they got a contract, but am I able to come through the thousands and thousands of bits of data and find the one that I think will break out because there is some fundamental reason for it? No, you can't. Or rather, you can, but it's just going to take you forever, and you're going to get paralyzed because you're going to be analyzing management, and you're going to be analyzing their financial statements. Yeah, it's going to take you a long time. Or you can do what I am doing, and I'm just looking at the chart. And, if I show this to, a kid or person who never traded, and I'm just going to ask you, where are you going to buy? I'm going to ask you to buy on close above the blue line. So right there. You break out, that's a breakout. So that's what we did, basically. I think it came up in our scanner a little bit later. And here in October 29th, I'm like, okay, this looks good. Looks good to go. The price is excellent. It came down back to the blue line again. So this is our trigger to buy. So on October 29th, alert was sent at about $4.60 to the subscribers. It immediately went in our favor. It just, sometimes it goes like that. And yeah, look at this. 230% gain. What does that mean? It was $4.60 back here, and it's now as high as $15. So it more than tripled, you see. And if you bought options, then that's 3 times that, so that's like 600% gain, 700% gain. It's enormous. So this is how I think about buying stocks, how I think about analyzing stocks. And also then there are some techniques, for example, once the target is reached, you take some profits, or maybe you advance your stop, to the entry, and then you trail higher at the blue line itself, and then you can also take profits. So I do take profits, somewhere around the green line, but it's difficult because sometimes you take profits too early. And I noticed this about myself, like I already said. It's good to be able to be right and sit tight. So in this case, sitting tight, you maybe this is the top, maybe it's not, we don't know. It's a significant move, but that doesn't mean it's the end of this move. It could continue higher. So this is always a trade-off. We need to capture the profit, but at the same time, at least capture most of the profits. You see, it's impossible to capture 100% of the profit because it's very difficult to enter at the very bottom and exit at the very top, because we don't know where the top is. So this is the way I trade. Very easy. Again, you can have the same lines on your chart. It's very easy to set up. Don't be afraid. I can walk you through it. It literally takes 5 minutes, and you will be trading in like 5 minutes. Just give it, just pay attention, and I will guide you through this. Another recent trade, so similar kind of thing, is that the way I evaluate stocks is that I'm looking for an oversold stock. Significantly has been, in a downtrend from preferably multiple years. So it's been downtrend. It's a new stock, so it's been in a downtrend pretty much since it debuted. And this is a good thing because nobody really cares about the stock. Also, you see how what I really like is that you see the trading range back in November. So it's about, where I'm looking, $2. But back in March, for example, the same trading range was like $3.50, $3.54. So this is a narrowing of a trading range. And when the trading range narrows, it's making it easier for the price to get to the bullish levels. So the price was way down there, down below here, and then it broke out above the blue line. This is our trigger, and we bought here. So alert was sent a little bit later, on 28th of December, looking beautiful. It just immediately went in our favor again. 28th of December, there's the alert, and then it went to 49% gain, or 50% gain almost. So very easy. Again, know nothing about the company, and you don't need to know anything about the company because it's purely technical trading. You can make a huge amount of money with purely technical trading. No need to do any kind of fundamental research. I've been at it for many years, trust me. Okay, let's switch gears. DXY dollar currency index. So new lows were just hit. I kept telling the same thing many times already, and I keep thinking this is the bottom, this is the bottom, this is the bottom. This could be the bottom. Now, why do I think this could be the bottom? Okay, so I'm looking at gold here, gold futures. So notice today the dollar moved, 0.27%, whereas gold finally moved 4%, but not where we wanted, because very early, or rather, recently, the gold was in an uptrend, and we bought it here on 23rd of March, rode it higher. But then, this candle, I was already showing it. I was already worried about this in 9th of November here. Candle, huge candle. I was kind of not sure where this is going. Now, there was a breakout here on the 7th of December. I decided not to play it myself, and I think I was correct, because notice this, today's candle is huge. It's big and it's red, and it's also, it just closed below the support resistance, the blue line. So overall, this is quite ominous. And here's another thing. So currently, you can see my indicators, they're, they end on today, but my next generation indicators are going to be available soon, and you can see that they're projecting forward. So this, next generation indicators projecting forward by 50 days. And what's interesting is that you can see the indicators are curving up. So currently the bear market is at about 1700, let me see, 1690. But as about 2 months ahead, the bear market would be at 1760, so significantly higher. And notice we're very close. We're like 3% away, basically. So this is something to keep in mind. It seems that gold or precious metals are turning around somehow. So we need to really pay attention to this. And I'm paying attention mostly because of the way the dollar is acting. It's not acting positive for gold right now. Same general principle for silver. Silver is more volatile, it moves bigger, but if dollar is going to gain, gold and silver will lose. So today's candle looks ominous as well. And finally, let me show you what I mean by parabolic rise. This is definitely, how we call it, like if I was to compare it to S&P 500, you can see that the rise is just kind of pretty steep, but not like crazy. This is crazy. So especially from December, late December into January, you can see that it just took off. Now, I would not chase it ever up here. I would not short it either, because I think it's in an uptrend, so it needs to turn around to become bearish. But the way I trade it is I look at bigger, kind of time period. So back here in April and May, these are actual alerts. In fact, I opened myself, but I got stopped out a few weeks later. So unfortunately, some people, myself included, got stopped out. But if you opened it back in April, and again, I'm gonna show you back in April what was my thinking. Why would I want to buy Bitcoin back in April? Whereas quite recently it was going down. It went to like 3,500 here, and we were shorting it as well. So for example, these are downward facing arrows. We were shorting it. But then we stopped shorting it, and then here on the 29th of April, we started buying it because we see a breakout. We see that it is no longer predicted to be going down. It is now predicted to be going up. So we started buying it back here in April. Myself, I actually opened here at 12th of May, but I got stopped out a few weeks later. And now it's just, oh my God, look at this move. So, back in April, we were not really doing anything abnormal. We were normally trading it, just like I would trade any other security. If we see a close above the blue line, we buy it. But I didn't know how big of a move it's gonna be, and really nobody knew this. And now it is 375% higher. So we were buying it back at 8,600, 8,500. It's now at 40-some thousand. So this is the kind of thing that we need to hope for, but it doesn't happen every time, obviously, but it happens on occasion. So overextended, but extremely strong. There's demand for it. So how much higher it will continue, who knows? It might go to $100,000 for all I care. Looking at this chart, again, notice that the blue line, which was the actual trailing stop, never got touched. So technically, you would have been still in this trade. So congratulations, and come over to Everyone Can Trade. So you can go to Everyone Can Trade, and it will go to MasterChartsTrading.com. We have 3 updated product bundles: Trading Indicators, Ultimate Bundle, and VIP Access. This is a very exciting new addition. Trading Indicators, so you get these indicators, the green, blue, red, and yellow line, and I will explain how to use them. Super simple. Start to make money right away. I will answer your questions. We have a training section. You also get the stock screener. So it will find stocks that are closing above the blue line, or if you're closing below the red line, if you're trying to short. So, you know, things like Capstone Turbine, for example. You know, our scanner would find stocks that are doing such a thing, that are closing above the blue line, and you can make a decision and buy it. You get the free 7-day trial. You can try it out. Don't like it, don't worry about it. Now, this is the exciting part: 90-day money-back guarantee. So there are some conditions that apply. So some people don't keep track of their trades. They will just buy and sell stuff, and then they don't write it down. Now, I have an actual Excel spreadsheet which I keep, and I write down every single trade, when I bought it, how much I paid for it, how many shares I bought, if I took profits, then on what date, and then it calculates it for you, the profit and loss. And I can give you that Excel spreadsheet. You can have it. You also have to use risk control. So how much money, how many shares are you going to be buying? Are you going to be buying a lot of shares or a little bit of shares? And it's really easy to calculate. There's a tool for that as well. I will teach you that. Make at least 7 to 10 trades. Some people don't do. They just buy a service and they don't trade. So if you want the money back guarantee, at least make some trades. And we will refund your money if your your subscription fees, if you don't make any money. You gotta make at least a profit. Okay, so this is my guarantee for you. And if you do what I say, you will not just make a small profit, you will make a large profit. But you gotta know what you're doing. So control your risk. I can explain that. Keep track of your system, keep track of what you're doing. And the other thing is, of course, psychology. So actually do stuff. If you're going to be exiting, then you need to exit at your stop. If you're going to be buying, you need to be buying at the certain price. You're not going to be buying at a different price. So you need to know what you are doing. I will explain it again in 5 minutes. Super easy. Now, if you're, I think the best deal is Ultimate Bundle, because you get 2 of my newsletters. One is the kind of like normal baseline newsletter. I call it the Elite. So Elite is we trade stocks, we trade ETFs, we trade commodities, forex, gold, and cryptocurrencies. But additionally, I have another newsletter now, which is called a Stock Speculator. And there we trade things like Capstone. So no name, relatively obscure names that are oversold and are just ripe for a breakout. So those 2 things are those 2 newsletters and basically 2 blogs. Also, I think just a great deal, and people get lots of ideas. So yes, you will get the indicators, but some people are like, I don't know how to use them. I need more examples. So this is the type of thing that I send out, actual trade alerts. And finally, this is a new addition, VIP Access. So same thing, you get the Ultimate Bundle, but then additionally you will get technical support from me over text or over Telegram app. So if you like that kind of thing, we can do it quickly over Telegram or text. And also you get every 90 days, you get a session with me for 30 minutes. I'll arrange it over Zoom or over phone. And I think some people are also, different kind of learners. And what I do during the Zoom session is I share the screen with you, and I'll show you exactly what I am doing. And I want to make sure that you also properly apply the indicators and properly control your risk. So this is VIP access would guarantee that. So you will get to meet with me every 90 days for 30 minutes, and we will discuss trading. Additional sessions are available if you're interested. Okay, that's it for this week's recap. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching and have another great trading week. Bye-bye.